What's up, people? Ryman. So it's Monday. Had a nice weekend studying, and now I have another week to study some more. Yeah. All right. So one of my subscribers that are on my Facebook. If you haven't added me on Facebook, please add me there. It's an easier way to get in touch with me because YouTube is YouTube. I respond more on Facebook. My Facebook name is Rhyming Gaijin. There's a fan page, so please go check it out. What I told people last year, one day it's gonna happen. I'm gonna hit 5,000 unless they raise the limit. I won't be able to add anybody else. Just fan page. Anyway, so do that. But one of the subscribers said, Matthew Ryman, talk about kids in Japan. Talk about you having kids in Japan. And that's pretty easy. I don't plan on having any kids in Japan. I thought of it, it'd be cool to have some kids, have some little RGs running around, But I personally, I just can't do it. Japan is a very, 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 very Japan-like country, and like in the States, some people have their home taught, or some people are just weird. But in the whole well, it's still rough for the weird kids, but in general, life goes on with it. But, I've been teaching in Japan for like 8 years, 7 years. So I see some of these weird kids that kind of trickle through. Maybe their parents are half American, half Japanese, or half something. Or they're just physically different. They're extra tall, or their voice is extra whatever. Or they got some speech impediment, but either way, the kids are merciless. Well, not always. It's not like every last child for himself. But it looks very difficult, and there's no counselors, people, in my opinion. It's just not like they're aware or care about this kind of thing. So it's possible some little weird kid can grow up to feel more weird just because he's an outcast. Being an outcast isn't the thing here. For example, I saw this one girl. I don't know. I think she lived in the States, or she was born in the States, or she went to the States for a while. And now, when we're doing our little lessons, it'd be like, the boy jumped over the moon. So half the class can't say that. The boy jumped. They can't say it. And the other half, yeah, sorry, 100%. So the other, a group of other kids are just kind of like, the boy jump, or they're doing exercise. But one or two students will say, the boy jumped to the moon. And their pronunciation, enunciation, their articulation, their resonating, everything just sounds so natural. And when it's their turn to speak, everyone stops talking. It gets quiet. You can hear a pin drop. And everyone turns around and they watch the student. And when the student is finished, they clap and they give her all this fanfare and shit. And I could imagine if you want the attention, usually they don't. But if you wanted the attention, you're going to get it. But if you didn't, you still got it. And, they start calling them, oh, you're a gaijin, gaikokujin. But they're born here, They didn't make the choice. So, and then, that could... It could go both ways, You could be ugly or big or, some physical feature that makes you stand out. And that's one thing. But you could also be really good at something. Say you could run really fast. So every time you run track, you just blaze by the other students. So they start calling you Boto. Oh, you're Boto, son. Or you black or some shit like that. And they're kids, Kids deal with things different. We were kids once, right? So remember how you dealt with it. And me being who I am, if my kid came home saying, the kids are making fun of me and da-da-da. So did the teacher say something? No, the teacher didn't say anything. I'm going to the teacher's office. So why didn't you say anything when my kid was being persecuted by Billy, son? And they'll be like, well, you can't, or you won't. And that'll go on days and days until I'm forced to like take my kid to an international school. So that's how I see it. And I actually heard a lot of stories like this from friends or associates who have mixed children. They have these kind of issues. And you know, it's Japan, and it always comes down to if you don't like it, you can leave. But if your kid's here, they're born here, the parents, the grandparents, they have a little family, they technically can't leave. You're uprooting them from their culture to bring over to America, which has its own issues. So it's really, in my opinion, a lot of shit. So if I was having a child, it'd be back in the States. They could come here and visit, but I'd rather have them in the States. Yeah. And also, some of my classmates or other people I've met, they said they have lived abroad, or they either lived abroad for a long time or they were born abroad, now they came back to Japan. And they always talk about identity, loss of identity. You know, they look Japanese, but they don't feel Japanese. Because a lot of the stuff that Japanese people do is kind of, you're not taught it. You're just, it seeps, it's marinated into you. You do it because that's how you done it. But it's the same like English. When I'm talking to my students, they're like, why do you say it that way? I don't know. I just say it that way because that's how I said it. And I'm sitting there trying to explain it, but I don't know. No one ever taught me why. You know, but the same thing with probably all cultures. We do certain things because. So you could learn the language and you could come back to the motherland, but all those little things, you know, you're missing out on. All right, so that's my whole spiel about why I'm not having a kid in Japan. And I didn't watch it for other reasons, but Canada Gen 3, she made a video about white Japanese people, and I remember I was talking about we should do something kind of like that. I wouldn't just call it white because there's many different cultures, races here. It should just be foreign children, half foreign in Japan. But hey, anyway, search channel, she does one. But you should check that out. I think that will kind of touch on some points that I mentioned. Yeah. And also to comment on the last video I posted where I was rapping in the thing and people like, wow, I didn't think would be so good. Really? I've been rhyming, guys, for like the past 4 years on this channel, and the other channel coexist. And every 3 seconds I'm telling you I'm a rapper, and for some reason y'all been sleeping on me. Well, I know he's a rapper, but I don't think he's that good. But hey, you're not alone. Because when I went home for Christmas last year, I was showing my dad some of the videos I made in Japan. And it was crazy because I showed him one video where I was in a kind of club. There was a lot of people talking. So you really couldn't hear what we were doing. There was a group of us. So my dad's like, I wish those people would shut up. I can't hear my son. And I was like, yeah. And he was tapping his finger to the beat. So he's into it. But this is 30. So I've been rapping for like 15 years. So this is 15 years later. Up until this point, it's always like, oh, you're wasting your time with that. I mean, it is what it is. And I'm hoping, you know, when I have a child, I can recognize their talents very early so I can support them. Because, you know, one of my things was, oh man, I wish my dad would just say he likes my music, and then I'd be good. But then at one point, like, you know what, I'm probably never going to hear this, so I might as well keep going. And then I finally did hear it, so it's like, yeah, he said it. But I'm like, why couldn't you say it earlier, you know? But it is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, now, you know, this same thing happened last year. I was at the YouTube party, and Victor, he was like, yo, man, I saw you perform, and I was really impressed. You're really good, man. You really freestyle. I'm like, really? Like, read the comments, man. Go to the other channel, read the comments. They've been saying this for years. I'm not boasting, not bragging, just saying what it was. So, but yeah, thank you for noticing. Thank you. That album, that song, Tokyo Bartender, we did it last summer, and I liked it. I like those kind of jazzy things. I'm moving into more electronic because that's where people are doing, but I got some nice smooth songs. You could go to the other channel. I have a whole track list of all the songs I'm going to be putting out on this album. Yeah, that's about it. So, it's Monday. If you got a question, or at least a compelling question, or a question that gets thumbed up to the very top. So there's like 4,000 people. So all you need is like one extra person to thumb up your comment, and it's right up to the top. And I'll answer that question, give you my 2 cents about it. Alright, that's about it. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, because some people say, I've been watching you for like 20 years, but I haven't subscribed. No, please subscribe. That way you can get the updates. And yeah. Alright, peace. Ryman. Cheer.